gates, seeing so many people. And if there is some trouble, although he is hefty, he is not brave. There is the अंदर से वो ताकतवर नहीं. And then we have some people, वो देखने में तो लुकड़ा सुगड़ा है, लेकिन courage बहुत है. He go and challenge anyone as if he can defeat. And sometimes you see as a person and you try to make out what is this person from the outer side, but both have different growth patterns. There are some called as prodigy, जो दिखने में छोटे लगते हैं, but their inner self in some aspects is genius. The mathematics genius or in singing. No? जब किसी को देखते हैं हम समझ में नहीं आता कि कौन कोयला है और कौन कौवा है. Who can sing well? Can't make out just by this lady can sing well. So there is both these aspects: outer development, inner self, and then there is a core self. Sometimes even the inner self can get corrupted, can get troubled. But if you understand that there is a self that is even beyond the core, beyond the inner person who has these abilities, who is having these abilities, then you will be able to appreciate even those who may externally not be so good, or the qualities may not be good. So there is a saying that hate the sin, not the sinner, because the core self is never corrupted. Bhagavad Gita gives example of a water drop. The water drop, when it originates from the cloud, it's pure. But as it comes into the atmosphere, based on its interaction, it starts to get acidic, it starts to get different, polluted. We always see smog. And if it comes and falls on the ground and associates with the mud, then its original existence is gone, and what that water drop becomes, that pure water drop becomes like mud. So that the core self, as it interacts and as it identifies. Yesterday we showed that video of the rubber hand experiment. Ever heard of that experiment before? So it can be used both ways, positively, negatively. And therefore, we also gave some examples of how people have memories, even scientifically. Dr. Ian Stevenson or many other scientists that do research on this. And in this way, we go through 84 lakh species of life. And Krishna explains in the Gita that based on what you interact with, that kind of place you go in. But the question we wanted to discuss today is that what's controlling all this? Did any of you choose your parents before taking birth? Did any of you choose the height of your weight or the color, the tone of your skin, or maybe the important aspect during IQ levels? These are all given to us and we just have to accept it. And there are cases where we may criticize our parents कि हमें यहाँ पे क्यों जन्म लिया. Or in the West there are sometimes suing of the parents. There is one girl in Australia. She has sued her doctor who delivered her and the mother that मुझे जन्म क्यों दिया, because she was facing some health issues. And she said that because you knew that I'm going to face these health issues and still you gave birth and now I have to deal with it. You never asked me before taking birth that आपको जन्म दे क्या पॉसिबल है क्या पॉसिबल नहीं है बट समटाइम्स इन कलियुगा such foolishness is there. So none of us have chosen this. So who is it or what is it controlling this? And many times when we lose something that's very dear to us, these types of questions do come. And who or what is the cause? So there is this story of a pastor who loses his young daughter because of a disease called as progeria. And all through his life he has been a good person, अच्छा व्यक्ति था. And he started to introspect. How can this happen? The Almighty, the God above, is He not aware that I am suffering? Because sometimes you are not aware that what's happening with your child or what's happening with your family members, because you are so occupied with your own job or work. So is it that God is so preoccupied in managing this mess that He is not aware किसके साथ क्या हो रहा है? But God is called as omniscient. He knows everything. Is it that God is not all powerful? Sometimes we know somebody is diseased, somebody is having a trouble, but we are just helpless. We don't have that power to cure that cancer, power to cure that mental disorder that they have. Or is it that God just doesn't love me enough? It's getting cold, right? Can you just वो थोड़ा एयर कंडीशन मंगेश किधर है ओके so what's the cause most of the times we kind of attribute it to दैवा ऊपर वाला जो बेटा है वो सबको नचा रहा है उसको जैसा चाहे इसको ऐसा नचा रहा है उसको ऐसा नचा रहा है and we kind of put the blame on him. But then there is another aspect which are called as the laws of the universe. अगर आप हाथ कैंडल के ऊपर रखेंगे और अगर हाथ जल गया, can you blame God for that? माँ भगवान ने हाथ जला दिया. There are laws that work, and there is this theory of karma. जैसी करनी वैसी भरनी, and these are two schools of thought that सब कुछ भगवान डिसाइड करते हैं. हाथ में लिखा हुआ है, इधर लिखा हुआ है, and sometimes students can take this excuse. फेल क्यों हुआ? लिखा था नहीं, तुमने लिखा नहीं एग्जाम में. We can take that excuse. Or there are some, once I was distributing Bhagavad Gita in the local trains and I met a guy who was working at Dalal Street and he said that मुझे गीता वीता नहीं चाहिए, मैं हार्ड वर्क करके मैं कमाऊंगा. I'll earn my way to happiness, my way to success. But everyone that's going to Dalal Street or Wall Street is having that aim. But does everyone become rich? Does everyone get what they want? So if just by work you can achieve whatever you want, or work is worship, karma hi puja hai. Yes, we do definitely respect, we should respect our work. God has given that capacity to work and the instruments to live. But both these play a role in our future things that are happening. The example that is given of a farmer. A farmer has to depend both on the rain and on his hard work. उसका पसीना भी उतना ही जरूरी है जितना बारिश जरूरी, दोनों पानी. And if it just depends on the rain, कि बारिश नहीं होगा तो कुछ फायदा नहीं है. But if it doesn't prepare the land, then there will be rain and the rain will go off. And if he thinks, मैंने इतना कष्ट किया, इतना काम किया, but he chose a place that doesn't have rain or a barren land, जहाँ पे कुछ उगता ही नहीं है, वहाँ पे जाके उसने cashews का लगा दिया पेड़, and he is expecting there will be bounty. So therefore in the Gita, Krishna says that for achieving success, or there are 5 factors for success in our actions. And if we understand these 5 factors, we not unnecessarily either blame God or blame ourselves. Because sometimes we put so much blame on ourselves and go into depression. कि मैं कुछ काम कर नहीं. Or we may put blame on the world around us. Or there are only 3. या तो खुद को blame करो, या दुनिया को blame करो, या दुनिया बनाने वाले को blame करो. दुनिया बनाने वाले काहे को दुनिया बनाए. So Krishna in the 18th chapter, he in the 14th verse, he speaks 5 factors that are in action when we work. We want to recite after me, line by line. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritagvidam vividhascha pritag cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So Krishna, he says the first factor in achieving, in doing our karma properly, success, is adhisthana, the environment, the place of action. And AC ना थोड़ा manage करो, ठंडा हो गया. So if the place of action is not proper, then no matter how much you work hard, the results may not be as you wish. Just like in a barren land, if you choose to grow something that needs a lot of water or a lot of nitrogen nourishment, it's foolish. Just like a student, he wants to excel in his studies, but the place he chooses to study is in front of a television when India-Pakistan match is happening. So his sthana, or he goes to the Marine Drive and he sits there when everybody is relaxing and he is trying to focus. So for achieving success, the first step is choose your environment properly. The place where you, even in business, this is market survey. ये business के लिए कौन सा market है? Lamington Road, everybody puts it in the same place because everyone knows that यहाँ पे हमको मिलेगा. Then the second, after the environment, is the karta, is the individual or the element, the person who is doing the action. The environment may be best, but the individual should also be capable, should be suited for that environment. For some, a quiet place is a place where they can study well. How many of you? You need a quiet place to study. And for some, if it's too quiet, you can't study. You tend to sleep. You need थोड़ा आवाज होना चाहिए ताकि there should be some kind of motion. So each individual has, each element, each karta, the worker, should know who am I. He has excelled in that environment. Am I of the same element? Then comes karanam, is equipments. What are the instruments that you have access to? By God's grace, although somebody is a very good karta, he doesn't have access to the knowledge or the money or the different capabilities because of which he cannot excel at that work. Now we have the famous Super 30 in Bihar. These children, they're very intelligent, but they don't have the proper training and education which can be given, and which is an important factor, that the equipment that is available to do that action is also equally important along with the karta. Then Krishna says is cheshta, effort, which is the most important factor. Sometimes I hear from mothers, they tell about their kids, ये पढ़ सकता है लेकिन पढ़ता नहीं. But what's the point in पढ़ सकता है लेकिन पढ़ता नहीं है? Because if he doesn't put the effort, can he get the success? Doesn't. No matter how best equipments you have, how best you are, there is so much talent in you, but you don't put the hard work. So if karanam is the inner abilities and outer facilities, then cheshta is the hard work, effort that one puts in getting that. Even Arjuna का जो skills है, it didn't come by birth. He had to work hard. There's money in the bank, but then you have to withdraw it. You need to have access, connection. So that this cheshta, effort. And after these four, Krishna adds one more element, one more factor, which is the daiva, the divine plan. And this divine plan is not just God's will, but also the past karma that we have accrued, because of which there is a particular momentum or a push towards something. And Krishna and the whole universe facilitates based on the momentum that we have gained. Suppose you are going on a Pune highway and you decide, I don't want to go, I want to take a U-turn. You can't take U-turn immediately. It takes for you to wait till the U-turn junction comes, then you can take, and then you have to slow down and slowly take the U-turn. So same way, because of the past karma and Krishna's divine plan, there is a particular push towards doing something. Some people are oriented for some work, this work. And if we don't accept that there is also a no factor which is beyond me, because कुछ लोग ना सब कुछ रहने के बाद भी they don't achieve success. Whatever they do doesn't bring as much results, and then we'll see some students, some people जो जिसमें हाथ डाला वहाँ पे सोना, golden hand. It's not golden hand. It's because of the quota that they have. It is just like you have worked hard to make the lemonade yesterday, lemonade ka essence. Today all that guy is doing is just put water in the lemonade, and in 1 minute the lemon drink is ready. That doesn't mean lemon drink can be ready in 1 minute for everyone. If you don't have the past punji. And these four things that are there combinedly are called as the laws of karma or karma. What kind of environment we are placed is decided by the karma, the kind of karanam that we have, the amount of effort that we can put, and the person, the karta, who is, how we are born, what kind of strengths we have, and so both play equal role. So what's controlling all that is happening with us? One is the karma. Who is controlling? The daiva. So there is what factor in our life and who factor. But first we take the what factor. What are the laws of karma? We'll take through an example of a hotel. Then you go to a hotel or a restaurant. Everybody is having different types of cuisine, things that they order. And when something comes to your plate, you might have forgotten what you ordered, but the waiter doesn't forget or shouldn't forget. So the waiter brings you और बोलेंगे ये क्यों लेके आया, से राजमा चावल क्यों लेके आया, तो सर आपने यही तो ऑर्डर किया था. So whatever we are getting currently in our plate is our own choices that are turning into consequences. So just like in a hotel, whatever comes in our plate is our own choice. Same way in the karma cafe, in the karma hotel, whatever is coming, somewhere back we have chosen. May not be directly, but indirectly. Say somebody is smoking, chain smoker, and he gets lung cancer. And he asks God, Bhagwan, मैंने ये थोड़ी पूछा था आपको lung cancer. But if you are going that road, what will you get? So it's not about desiring, it's about choosing. And so this is the first element. And every choice has a consequence. And what Bhagavad Gita presents is that Bhagavad Gita is not a book of commandments. Bhagavad Gita is a book of choices and consequences. Based on the choices you make, that kind of consequences you will get. And the whole menu card, like in a hotel, the whole menu card is there. LHS, RHS. LHS is something that we desire, and RHS is something that we have to pay for what we desire. Therefore, in Karma Cafe he said that you get what you deserve or what you desire, with a combination of both. केवल चाहने से आपको मिलता नहीं है. And in a hotel, there are two options when you choose something. There is prepaid and there is postpaid. Right? कुछ जगह पे पहले पैसा भरना पड़ता है. If you go to our Govindas Express, there you first pay money, and then you have to show the coupon, and then he'll give you. In our Govindas restaurant, you eat, and they trust you कि ये जितना भी खाएगा उसका पैसा देगा. But in a restaurant, there are both options. Either you pay now and you get, or you eat and then pay later. So most of the times in karma, there is the prepaid. मतलब जो पहले भरा था उसका अभी मुझे मिल रहा है. But there is also thing that जो अभी करोगे अगर अच्छा काम करोगे तो आपको बाद में उसका रिजल्ट मिलेगा, विच इज पोस्ट पे. जैसा यूज किया वैसा आपको बाद में बिल आएगा. सो कर्मा हैज दिस टू कॉम्बिनेशंस. दैट्स व्हाई समटाइम्स people feel that मैंने ऐसा क्या किया है. We may not know exact story, exact thing, and there is a reason why we are not shown exact karma for which we are in place today, because it's not one factor that pushes us towards this, which will come slowly. The second law of karma is that in this material world or life in general, in karma, our attitude matters. What kind of attitude and response do we give to things that happen? कभी कभी छोटी छोटी बात पे हम बहुत ज्यादा रिएक्शन दे सकते हैं. I was just hearing a story of Krishna. That Krishna, when he went to Mathura first time, he was asking different individuals for different things. So he had gone to a washerman and he asked his washerman, "Can I get the clothes?" Because these clothes were of King Kamsa. And this washerman, when Krishna asked the clothes, this washerman, he blasted Krishna. क्या समझते हैं अपने आप को, and this and that. If there was a parallel universe, in a multiverse, the same thing could have been dealt differently. कृष्ण ने कपड़ा मांगा और आपको नहीं देना है. You can choose to respond differently. He could have said, "Sir, मेरे पावर में नहीं है, ये राजा के कपड़े हैं. ये मेरा काम है बस धोके इसको लेके जाने का. I cannot choose to give you this, although I would love to give. You better ask Krishna, or I ask forgiveness, or I am willing to take whatever punishment." There are so many ways in which something can be reacted when something comes to our plate. वो थोड़ा you can choose to blast because roti जल गया है. And based on what is your attitude in receiving what is coming in our plate, our future is decided. So we get points in karma for the attitude also, for the intention with which we are doing that work. Even in school there is a behavior marks, right? There is a marks for behavior. And more than in school, you get the maximum marks for behavior in the office. Most growth in the office happens not because of the work you do, but the attitude with which you deal with people. It's more a networking than working. How do you network? How do you talk? So therefore, attitude matters. So for the same thing, someone can be punished grievously, and someone else can be punished mildly. Even in the law of court, if somebody admits their crime, their punishment is reduced because he has accepted, and somebody keeps on denying, or he tries to present false narratives, then he is punished severely. So therefore the attitude matters. And in the cafe, karma cafe, there is group serving and there is single serving. There is collective karma and then there is individual karma. In a hotel, when we go, if you are alone, then the bill comes to you. But if you go as a group, usually it happens in college groups, that you can split the bill. Nowadays there are apps to split the bill. So everybody gets a chunk of it. And because you're part of that group, you are billed for booking that hall or whatever is. So that is called as collective karma. And none of us are acting individually. we all take help of different associations. We are all connected to different things. Just like now, you're all sitting on this chair. Did any of you bring this chair? Did any of you make this chair? No. Temple has ordered from Nilkamal. And so if the Nilkamal, I think it's Nilkamal or Nakoda. Nakoda. And if the Nakoda company, अगर उसने कुछ गलत किया है in the making, then the one who is using will share that karma, or a lift, or anything, a soap, because we all are a social being, we all depend on each other. So therefore, the more there is dependence and dealings, the more each other's karma mingles. And the most is in the family. There is something called as family karma. Not just current family, but your previous. There is something, when a child is born, it is said there are 3 types of children. Seva Putra, Rina Putra, and Shatru Putra. Seva Putra is someone who has come to serve you, because in the last life they served you. Rina Putra is somebody who was obliged for something, so ये जीवन में वो obligation निकाल. And शत्रु पुत्र, किसी के साथ दुश्मनी था लास्ट टाइम, वो दुश्मनी निकालने के लिए आपके बच्चे के रूप में जन्म लेता है, बच्चा है वो बच्ची हो. And we do, no, ऐसा लगता है माता पिता और बच्चों को देखिए ये शत्रु है कि फैमिली है. So it is called as, no, and somebody has done, and that effect, just like if your grandfather or father has some loan, you have to pay that loan because you're born to that. So same with karma. Each one has their individual quota, but also has a collective response. जैसे कोई सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, आपका घर में जो है वो आपका जिम्मेदारी है. But at the same time, because that house is in the society, you also have to care for the society. There is a maintenance bill. In some societies in Bombay, maintenance bill is 50,000 rupees. वो यूज ही नहीं कर रहा स्विमिंग पूल, लेकिन क्योंकि स्विमिंग पूल है वो कॉम्प्लेक्स में और आप वो उधर जगह लिया है, so you have to pay for that collective karma. So this is called as group karma and single karma, or group booking and single booking. Then the last law of this karma cafe is there is express delivery and there is delayed delivery. In Govindas, if you go, there are some items for which you can take a nap, 20 minutes nap. And there are some items, जैसे ऑर्डर किया तुरंत आ जाता है. Anyone knows what is the quickest item you can get in our Govindas? Yes, Pankaj? Water. Intelligent. पापड़. क्या उसको क्या बोलते हैं? मसाला पापड़. पापड़ के ऊपर कुछ डाल दिया और दे दिया. So quickest, because it doesn't take much effort. And then there are some, see, if you desire to eat stuffed pizza, I don't know what is the name, Harinam. We all have spirit. Harinam Chintamani. लोगों को समझ नहीं आती ये कहाँ है, ये सब अलग अलग नाम. Madhuban dosha and Kadiravan dosha. So if you order something that takes time, then so even when we act, there are some reactions that take time to fructify. Just like a mango seed takes how much time? At least 5 years. A coconut tree takes 10 years for the fruit to come. A mustard plant takes only 3 months. So based on the type of karma you have done, therefore in the Mahabharata this question is asked by Dhritarashtra to Krishna, Krishna, why did I have to suffer for the loss of 100 children? 100 बच्चे मेरे मर गए, इतना दुख मुझे क्यों भुगतना पड़ रहा है? Then Krishna says, 100 जीवन के पहले आपने एक पक्षी के 100 अंडों को मार गिराया था खेलते खेलते, और क्योंकि आपने 100 अंडों को गिराया तो because you killed someone else's 100 children and they went through that agony, therefore you are going through that agony. Then Dhritarashtra asked, why give me that after 100 years, 100 lifetimes के बाद क्यों वो punishment there? Then Krishna said, you have to accrue that much punya to have a child. तो उसके लिए आपको 100 जीवन निकालने पड़े to have the punya. And once all the punya is ready, you had these children, and then that जो आपके ऊपर bill था, and that bill was passed where all the 100 children had to be removed, and you are going through that pain. So therefore, in this world, when something bad happens, don't be so sad, because something may be getting cleansed. कि कुछ बुरा होने वाला था वो जा रहा है. You are being relieved of the burden of that karma that was there. And something good is happening, don't be in the clouds, elated. Because that good may be like Dhritarashtra, at one, एक बार इकट्ठा हो गए एक साथ, साफ भी हो सकता है. So many people, they grow, suddenly something happens, everything is vanquished. So therefore, Krishna in the Gita he says, Dukkeshu anadvignamana sukeshu vigataspriya vitaraga bhaya krodha siddhadir muniruchyate. A thoughtful person doesn't become totally deluged in misery when something bad happens, and doesn't go in cloud 9 when something good happens, because he knows ये सब कर्म का खेल में चल रहा है, and he focuses because he doesn't have ita raga bhaya krodha. He's neither attached nor fearful of losing. He's just witnessing the laws of karma in action. Therefore, the laws of karma, which are 5 factors, out of which there are 4, and these 4 are ruled by these 4 rules, which I have put as cage. So, why we are in this cage? This body is considered as a cage in which the soul is trapped. And till the karma is not complete for us to go out of this cage, we stay unless we there is accidental or akala mrityu also. Some people die, commit suicide or accident. So then they have to wait for getting the body. But usually there is a time periods for each cage, and we are continuously changing. And in this law, in this world, there is no excuse for not knowing the law. It's like on a traffic. If you are driving a car, you can't say, sir, I don't know the rules of the driving. Ignorance of law is no excuse. Before you can drive a car, you have to take the driving lessons. And when you take the driving lessons, all the rules you are supposed to know. Of course, if you pay in Bombay, even without touching the car, you can get driving lessons. I know people that have driving lessons even without going to the test. But you are supposed to know. So now that we are in the material world, we are supposed to know यहाँ का कैसा कार्य कैसे होते हैं. And that's what is the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the life manual, the law book for humanity. Another is that don't try to analyze your karma too much, because it's very complicated. एक तो express and delayed है, कि अभी जो हो रहा है वो उसका कारण कल किसी को जो किया है कि 10 साल पहले का है, पिछले जीवन का है. Each everything adds on and now it comes as a upma or khichdi or different flavors. So there is multiple factors in whatever is currently us. It is not just one single factor. Yes, Krishna knows, Chitragupta, Yamaraj knows, but if we try to get into that, usually there is a lot of trauma in remembering all the wrong things that we have done. ये जीवन में. So पिछले जीवन जो हमारे कंट्रोल में ही नहीं है, those things will create more trauma. So therefore Krishna gives, in the Gita he says, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam. I kind of hide that memory from the people because it's not needed. What is needed is knowing the main laws of karma and general categorization rather than knowing किसने किया. Because sometimes we go after the person and not learn the lesson. Sometimes, even when some trouble is created, so the management or the leadership, they tell कि आप ऐसा ऐसा मत करो. Then if you get into the case, नहीं ऐसा किसने complain किया बताओ. Usually, leadership, they don't usually know. वो जिसने complain किया है और जिसके ऊपर complain हो, दोनों को सामने नहीं रखते. Because rather than learning the lesson, this person becomes more inimical and will create more trouble. So therefore the laws of karma don't necessarily give us because it's very complicated. Thousands of lifetimes have passed and not just one life. All types of species of life. And currently for us to be at peace, to eat something, if you also remember what all you ate in your previous lives, say as a pigeon, as a fish, as a pig, all those memories, do you think will help us be peaceful? Not at all. तो जो जीवन में जो शांति है वो भी नहीं रहेगा and you will not be able to take the reformation properly. So therefore it is recommended that don't go into too much analysis of your karma. Sometimes it is good to go into some astrology, just to help a general direction. But if you go into too much, then there will be factors that you cannot help, and sometimes even this analysis may not be accurate because it's a very complicated science. We just saw all the exit polls, not just the exit polls, but also the predictions by all these Jyotishas, all these famous astrologers, and not one of them predicted what happened. Did they predict? No. So is the science wrong? The science is not wrong, but the karanam, the equipment that they have, the access they have, the capability of these people to understand all the factors that are involved is missing. Just like when you make a sweet rice, everything you have put, but only one thing which you अगर थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया तो क्या होगा? The whole thing में आग ज़्यादा था, it gets burnt. So therefore, because all these karma predictors or karma analyzers that are there, we can take help if there is extreme trauma or difficulty. But Krishna, he says, learn the lesson, take to the factors that how can you be a good person, what are the general rules of karma, understand, and take to the positive solution rather than trying to analyze the problem. More important is apply the solution. Else there will be paralysis by analysis. And all that's happening in the field of karma with us, it's said to be a response by which to remove us from the reactions that are there from the past. So karma is in one sense a purifier. Fever. How many people you have have got fever sometime or other?
I got fever sometimes.
Is fever a disease or a response to a disease?
Response to it.
Response to a disease. And how many of you, when you get fever, which is a response to a disease, try to suppress that fever by taking Dolo?
I didn't know that.
So fever is a response of the body to increase the heat in the body because there is some bacteria that is causing issues, virus or bacteria. So the body increases the temperature to kill that disease. And we think fever is a problem and we try to suppress the fever by taking Dolo, paracetamol and reduce the temperature. And what happens? The main disease which is there, that increases more, and then we get after 4 hours again fever. More. Therefore, no, even in scientific studies said, fever is your friend. Fever is a way your body fights infection by raising your temperature. Viruses have a harder time surviving. So if you have a fever and don't feel uncomfortable, you don't need to take fever reducing medication. It will help the disease run its course faster. Usual thing is that 3 दिन तक बुखार रहता है. Body needs 3 days to recover. But in spite of that, the recovery doesn't happen. On the 4th day, Ayurveda says you should go for some treatment. Else, give the body its time to correct itself. So, karma, whatever suffering or reaction that are coming, is a way by which the universe is trying to purify us. Therefore, karma is a sanitizing agent. It's not a troubling agent. Provided you understand and deal with it properly. कोई आपको कुछ बुरा बोल रहा है, understand it's a way by which the universe or God is trying to purify you, remove you from some reaction that was there, some action that you did, and not increase it further. But each one's body and capability is different. So if you do get fever, don't consult me. प्रभु जी आपने बोला 3 दिन रुकने के लिए और मेरा और बढ़ गया, अभी आपको मैं बिल भेज रहा हूँ. This is a general principle, so use it at your own discretion. But the principle of karma is something to help us because originally the soul was pure. We came in this world and we did some act and उसका reaction करके वो जो है हमारे ऊपर जो allegation or जो it is being removed so that the soul can again become pure. But instead of reacting properly, instead of responding properly, we react in a wrong way, and then there is जैसे एक झूठ बोला, वो झूठ को छुपाने के लिए और एक झूठ बोलते, and it gets more complicated. एक खून किया, नहीं एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूँ, एक ट्रबल किया, उसको छुपाने के लिए और एक करते. So like that, in that way, the karma gets complicated, and all the universe or the laws of karma trying to do is remove the karma from the soul, so the soul again can go back to its original situation. So therefore, karma is a sanitizer. It's a purifier if you deal with it properly. Else, we are going and we don't learn the lesson, just like a Ferris wheel. We are going round and round in so many species of life. And the only species in which we can understand this is the human form. In none of the species this capability to understand and come out of it is given. It just like once you take a flight, you can't say मुझे दिल्ली नहीं जाना है, मुझे कलकत्ता जाना है. You can decide before you board the flight. And best is before you book the flight, because after you book, if you change, still you have to pay something.
Yeah.
almost sometimes even more than what you refund से ज़्यादा आपको और पैसा भरना पड़ेगा. So there are only some instances, opportunities in which we can change the course of our destiny, not all the time. So human life is that golden opportunity that is given in which you can choose to decide. And even in human life, once you get into a particular habit, it becomes very difficult for you to change. Therefore, the main initial years of life is said to be the foundation where you build so you can make your choices properly. Therefore, the younger we are, the more time we have, we should learn this law, this Bhagavad Gita, so we can live our life better and steer our direction, destiny in a better way. Once a baby camel was talking to its mother, and the mother camel, बच्चे बहुत प्रश्न पूछते हैं. What's your name?
Divyaraj.
Vivad.
Divyaraj.
Not Vivad, Divyaraj.
Divyaraj. What's your name?
Chitrangada.
Chitrangada. Is that right? Chitrangada?
Yes.
You have a name from Mahabharata.
Roman rocket.
So children usually ask a lot of questions, right? ये कैसा है, वो कैसा है. So the baby camel was asking some questions to his mother. The baby camel asked his mother, why do we have these big legs? So the mother camel said that in the desert it's so hot that if the belly is closer to the ground, our bellies will burn. Therefore, God made a natural ventilation system by which garam हवा जो है नीचे से निकल जाए and our bellies are not burned. That's why we have these long legs.
Yep.
Then the baby camel asked, why do we have this hump? Everybody bullies me at school. ये ऊपर एक hump है. Doesn't look nice. Then the mother said, this hump is a inbuilt water tank. Syntax.
Yes, I know that hump is the water tank.
Very good. So, in the water tank, we fill water so that we can sustain for days together when we go on a tour in the desert. When we go somewhere, different days together we don't get water. So, we can do Nirjal easily. Ekadashi or whatever fasting easily.
And something just comes out together. Some reddish.
What comes out?
Some reddish thing. Yeah. Moment.
Moment. Then the baby camel asked third question to its mother that our eyelids are transparent. Why is it like that? And the mother said, in this desert there is sandstorms. And when there is a sandstorm, it's difficult for us to walk if we close the eyes. आंख बंद करके तो चल नहीं सकते because desert is all up and down. गिर जाएंगे.
Yeah, up and down, up and down.
Don't talk. You talk later.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
class gets disturbed. Okay. So because it's up and down, it gets difficult if you close our eyes. And if you open our eyes, then the sand gets into our eyes. So therefore God has made these eyes in such a way that आंख बंद करके भी चल सकते हैं. Like inbuilt goggles, inbuilt spectacles. Two species have fish and camels. They have. भगवान ने मनुष्यों को नहीं दिया है, नहीं तो पता नहीं चलता था कौन सो रहा है कौन जगा हुआ है इधर. So when the baby camel got this answer, she was very glad. Then she asked fourth question to the mother, that if God made us to these long legs to walk in the desert without getting hot, heated up, if we can be there for days together, walk without water, if we can face the sandstorms easily, why is that we are staying in a zoo, not a desert. And the mother had no answer, because all these gifts that the camel has in a particular environment, they are all gifts. But when a camel is displaced from its natural habitat, ये सब burdens लगता है, right? ये सब लगता है क्यों बनाया भगवान ने ऐसा? Like our digestive system. Humans have been made a digestive system that is best for a vegetarian diet. Our digestive system is like that. But if we go away from that, and then our thing will be troubled. Or the way we sleep. We're supposed to sleep at night, in the night, and work during the day. Now culture is, जितना रात होती है उतना लोग charged up हो जाते हैं. Night owls, as they say. So there is a natural way in which God has made an environment, and the element has to match with that environment. Then you will understand all the gifts and you will be able to live better. But if you don't understand the design or don't live by the design, no matter how well is the design made, we'll always find flaws with God or with our life, because we just don't understand what is a proper way to live or what is a place to live. So there is a nice little video about Germany and India. Please don't take offense, but it's a very funny video. Oh, sorry.
Did you know that towel?
नहीं चला गया वो. See the number of seconds. What is the lesson of this video? Let's go to Germany. Not that. No matter how many laws you make, if you don't follow the laws, then you won't see the benefit of those laws. So it's not just God who is to be blamed. भगवान ने ठीक से नहीं बनाया, हमने जो भी बनाया उसका ठीक से पालन नहीं किया, and now that we created the mess, like once one of our monks was flying on international flight and they were serving free alcohol to many, of course not to our brahmachari, and one guy, Indian, पैसा वसूल कैटेगरी, क्या बॉम्बे में बोलते हैं जहाँ कुछ फुकट वहाँ पे हम प्रकट. So he kept on drinking and at one stage he went wild. He started to create nuisance in the flight. And when he started to create nuisance and shout and do all kinds of things, everybody was terrified. And the air hostess came to our sadhu or monk. Said, Swamiji, aap kuch kijiye. So our monk asked, उसको पिलाने से पहले मुझे पूछा था क्या? So before we go on the wrong path, we don't consult God, we don't consult Bhagavad Gita. But once we get into trouble, भगवान ने ठीक से नहीं बना. Now let's understand that the way Krishna has made this world is because of a particular purpose. And that purpose, the way God has made so much variety, is because variety is the mother of enjoyment. And it is said, Anando Vaisaha, that God, main activity is to experience happiness or share happiness. Or it is said, Ananda Brahma. And therefore he manifests in variegated ways to different individuals. In India, how many types of food styles are there? In China, Gujarati, Marwadi, so many based on the region, the type, and culture that is there. So if there is one God, why is there so much diversity in the names, so many names of God that are there in other religions, in our own religion? Forms of God, some worship a formless God, some worship so many forms, and so many addresses, so many lokas, ye lok, wo lok, Kailash bhi hai, Vaikuntha bhi hai, 14 planets hai, and so many ways. कोई बेल पत्ता चढ़ाता है, कोई तुलसी पत्ता, कोई तेल, so many, and sometimes these movies, oh my God, PK, make fun of this. And most importantly, so many wars around God, religion. And first of all, to understand is that what is the definition of God? भगवान के नाम इतने क्यों है? उससे पहले भगवान का डेफिनेशन क्या है? God is the source of everything. By definition, Krishna says in the Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. That is one of the definitions of God, one who is the source of everything. And technically there cannot be two sources of everything. Say सब कुछ यहाँ से आया, सब कुछ यहाँ से आया. तो ये कहाँ से आया? ये अगर यहाँ से नहीं आया तो फिर this cannot claim as source of everything, because this particular entity has not come from here. Therefore, technically God is one entity, because technically so God is by definition source of everything. And can there be two Supreme Courts in India? There can be subsidiary courts, and ultimately there is one Supreme Court. there can be two presidents. There can be two presidents. There has to be one supreme controller, and that by definition that is God. And just like in a cabinet, there is one prime minister who I think who is going to be taking over today. And there are so many cabinet ministers who are assisting him in different departments. So even in the universal governance, there is one God who is assisted by many cabinet ministers for different aspects of our life. There is electricity department, Ministry of Energy. So in the universal governance, that is handled by Surya. And Surya is a ministry. And there is a minister, main minister for Surya, who has a name. Different names are there. So all these are posts. All the Devata, what we call, they are all different God, semi-gods or demi-gods that have powers of control for different aspects of governance. There is Varuna Dev for water, there is Surya Dev for electricity, there is Indra Dev that that manages everyone, is like the supervisor of all Devatas. Then there is Ministry of Education, which is handled by Saraswati. There is Ministry of Finance, which is handled by not Nirmala Sitaraman, but by Lakshmi Devi. Then in Ministry of Defense, which is handled by Durga Devi. And three main departments given to women: Lakshmi, Saraswati and Durga. Then there is Ministry of Allocation, which or in every company, college, there is a placement cell. जिसको जैसा academic credentials है, they take an interview and they are placed in different colleges. So there is a placement cell officer who is called as Yamaraj. कि हमारे जब फाइनल एग्जाम होता है उसके क्रेडेंशियल्स के ऊपर he decides, okay, based on the marks that he has got, where should he be placed. And then there is a training period. जब आपको जॉब मिलता है, there is also a training center. If you get a job in Infosys, where are you sent for training? Bangalore. If you get a job in, say, what is this? Kirloskar, where are you sent? Pune. So there are different training centers for different. If you get a job in nuclear energy, you are sent to our Anushakti Nagar. There is a whole training center there. So Yamaraj handles both placement and training, because a human being, based on his activities, as Prabhupada says, if he is a glutton, कुछ भी खाते रहता है, 24 hours कुछ ना कुछ चबाते रहना, कुछ ना कुछ खाते रहना, then this human body is not designed for continuous eating. We'll get stout, we'll get diseased. So there are bodies that can continuously keep eating. Example, a pig. Pig can eat anything, everything. So based on the types of karma he has done, Yamaraj decides isko kahan pe. But if he cannot be placed immediately, क्योंकि जो हलवा खाया है, जो हलवा reprocess होके जो stool बनता है, उसको तुरंत नहीं खा सकता है, because he has that memory. So he has to be given training. That's why, each species, the moment they are born, they know खाना कहाँ पे मिलता है. A snake will go and it will open its mouth as soon as some worm comes. A bird knows how to, because they have been trained, which are called as instincts. वो यमराज जी डिजाइन करते हैं, उनको ट्रेनिंग देते हैं. And training sometimes appears like punishment. Anybody that has gone to training, military training, or any types of training, or even in our, if you want to become brahmachari for 3 or 4 years, there is a training period जहाँ पे आपको सब कुछ करना है. Temple से every activity you have to cover, right from cleaning the toilets to washing the vessels to doing everything. For some that may consider ये तो punishment है. Punishment नहीं है, वो आगे के जीवन के लिए आपका training है. So Yamaraj also takes care of training that soul to have that type of mindset, so he is not displaced. So that department he takes. So there are different departments that are taken care by different, and to not just take care but also to manage so many souls' journeys. So in total, scriptures say there are 33 crore devatas, or in the universal governance, the government servants are 33 crore, which seems to be a lot but not much. Just Indian railway system has 10 lakh employees. Just India, one small country in which just to manage Indian railways, 10 lakh. उसमें भी बहुत सारा बाहर देना पड़ता है, फूड हो ये हो. So to manage the entire universe and all the planets and everything, there are 33 crores. And more details are given. So we should be grateful to all these via mediums by which we are getting all these blessings. So therefore, in Krishna, in Gita, Krishna says not to disrespect them. But what Krishna says is not to take them as supreme. He says we should be grateful to everyone. He says, Bhunte stena evasa. Krishna says a statement, one who enjoys life without paying gratitude to one because of whom he is in a good situation, is a thief. So one should definitely, therefore there is a whole system of yajna. Yajnata annato yatra lokoyam karma bandha. Jo without paying gratitude, one who enjoys life. Just like we all pay bills to electricity, to this Indian government, type A taxes. So there is a taxation system by which you pay the rina for the sun, for the air, for all this. They are not free. And if you don't pay, then at the end of it, then you again go back to the karma cycle of 8.884 lakh species. And to understand all this, there are, based on the level of the student, there are different books or access to knowledge that is given. Even when we study mathematics, there is not one book in mathematics. सेकेंड ईयर बच्चे के लिए एक प्रकार का बुक रहता है, 10th क्लास के लिए एक प्रकार का बुक रहता है. If you come and if you go and ask a small child what is digestion, क्या बोलेंगे उसको कि खाते हैं और जब ठीक तरह से चबाएंगे तो अंदर जाएगा और वो डाइजेस्ट होगा, बाहर आएगा. बट ए 10th क्लास चाइल्ड को डॉक्टर पूछेंगे what is digestion. He has to be told that there are so many teeth, there is a saliva that is released, and there is a food pipe, there is esophagus, and liver is there. More details are given. But if MBBS student is studying digestive system, even that's not enough. Why does acid reflux come? Why is there constipation? There are more details that he goes. So same science, but based on the capability and the interest level of the student, there are books that give access to. And if two top doctors are discussing, किसी का पेट खराब है, so their language you will not even understand what they are writing or speaking. You have to Google it up. कि क्या लिख रहे हैं. So for different levels of student, there are different books based on their moral level, based on their spiritual level. Therefore, in books like where Bible is there. There is statements like thou shall not kill, thou shall not have incest, have sex with your own family members. Why such instructions are given? Because before somebody has become spiritual, he has to come at least to moral level. So those types of instructions are so, because the purpose is not to boast, this is good, that is good. The purpose is to elevate, help a person come to higher standards. But problem is that one school is fighting with another school saying that we are better, we are better. If Sardar Patel College students and Vijaytiya College students start to fight, Amara school, our college is better. It's foolish. Both places, different ways education is being given. And if you take to the education, you see सब जगह एक ही ज्ञान बांट रहे, that is the knowledge about the truth in different aspects. But somehow human beings, instead of being part of the ecological cycle, we think we are at the top of it and we try to abuse everything that is in our capacity. We abuse the earth, we abuse animals, or if we have a power, we tend to abuse, because the ego somehow wants to show itself as superior. It either needs money, it neither needs a good neighborhood, it neither needs a good face look. कुछ तो चाहिए हमको हमारे ईगो को दूसरों से अच्छा करने के लिए. But that same ego also comes to in religion, and we use God or religion or our way of practice, and we tend to become egoistic even in that. Rather than focusing on the growth, we tend to become bandwagons of proving. So either you prove your religion or you improve by your religion. So the purpose of yes, there are different levels, differently the amount of information and depth. Like in the Gita, Krishna, Arjuna doesn't want to kill. So if one book of law, religious book, it is said thou shalt not kill. You can say in this book, Krishna is saying thou shalt kill, which is an advanced level, because Arjuna by nature is a very moral person. And in this situation of adharma, he has to become aggressive. If he is passive in this situation, what will happen? More adharma will prevail. Once one of our ahimsa, one of the leaders, was asked that you propagate so much ahimsa. Say if your daughter is being raped, will you try to talk to that person, or will you try to fight with that person? Said whatever happens, I will never leave ahimsa. That's foolish, because if a person is not learning, then you have to take the required means to correct, rather than sticking to a means. The end is important. And you will see that Arjuna, yes, there were times when Arjuna apparently broke the laws of morality when fighting, but he didn't take that as an excuse and he led an immoral life. Arjuna regretted that he did prayaschitta, and after that he never became immoral, because his core substance was of morality. But in that situation, if it was needed, Krishna told Arjuna, thou shalt kill, because it was a higher level of spirituality where he could deal with it. There was Raman Raghav in Bombay, a serial killer at one time. Somehow he had some vengeance against ladies, and he went on a spree to kill ladies. किसी ने धोखा दिया, उसने बोला पूरा ये जेंडर को ही मैं खत्म करूँगा. When he was caught and when he was asked in the court of law, why are you killing? When he quoted Bhagavad Gita, na hanyate hanyamane shrire. He said, Krishna tells in the Gita, the soul can never be killed, nor can it kill anyone. So he is using spirituality to justify his immorality. And that's what happens many times. If a person is not qualified enough, then he'll use his higher powers, higher knowledge for abusing rather than utilizing. Therefore, there was some discretion in the Vedic times for who can be given what level of knowledge. It was based on the character. We'll see one short video now. Beautiful video.
Đang nó kịp rồiร้องใหญ่เลยแม่สงสัยหิวนมลุกโอ้ยไปการ์ตูนโอเคแม่ลูกไม่ได้ติดการ์ตูนลูกติดแม่โอเคไหมงั้นเอางี้เอาลูกคุยกับแม่หน่อยนะคุยกับแม่จ๊ะเอ๋แม่อยู่นี่ไงลูกอยู่ได้ไหมคะจำไม่ได้จ๊ะเอ๋มองกินจุ๊บนะ
Made by a mobile company in South Korea, saying that technology can never replace love. So for the child, that human touch, that connection to his source, his father or his mother, is the only way that the child can feel sheltered and at peace. And the soul being spiritual, just like a fish can only become peaceful when it's in water. If you remove a fish out of its natural habitat, and no matter what you give the fish will keep on fluttering, because it's looking for water. Same way, we being the parts and children of God, unless we connect to our source, our Supreme Father, nothing in this material world can actually satisfy us, can actually bring us true happiness, true satisfaction. Therefore, we are searching for the right thing, which is happiness, but in the wrong place. और गलत जगह पे कितना भी ढूंढेंगे आप, वो चीज़ नहीं मिलेगी. आपने अगर आपका बटुआ, वॉलेट वीटी में खो दिया और दादर में ढूंढ रहे, मिलेगा? नहीं मिलेगा. Long back when I was in college, there used to be a poster here, cartoon here, where a man is searching under a street light, and he is asked, "What are you searching?" "I'm searching for my keys." "Where did you lose it?" "I lost there." "Why are you not searching there?" "Oh, there is no light there." So just because we are here, if we try to search here, we have to search where we have lost it. We have lost it in losing our connection to God. And unless we reconnect that, which is called as yoga or dharma, we will never be fully happy. So yes, all the different devatas that are there, they are like our uncles and aunts or our bigger family that are helping the mother and father in this bigger joint family to help manage us. But our true relationship, eternal relation, not true, eternal relationship with is our source who has created us. And how do we know? We cannot know who is that source just with our own eyes. There is 3 ways to know anything. One is pratyaksha, another is anuma, and third is shabda. I need one volunteer. Yes. Now we all can come here. Now yesterday we all got to know him. He's Pavan, one of our attendees. So can any of you guess where in Bombay he stays? You don't tell. Let them guess.
He stayed in tour.
He told.
What do you mean?
Don't verify with them. Okay, as per madam, it's Borivali. Any other guesses?
Hanuman. I can tell somewhere. Ulhasnagar.
Ulhasnagar. Okay. Any other guesses? Okay, what does he do? And it's like, is he a student or working? If he's working, what is his
Must be working.
working? What? What? He's engineer. He's a. Yes, Amit ji, आपको क्या लगता है ये क्या जॉब कर रहे हो?
He's in some job.
He's in some job. Okay. What is his mother tongue? इनका mother tongue क्या है? हिंदी, मराठी. Huh? Any other? Okay, last question. What is his favorite food? Pizza. Any other?
Prashadam.
Any prasadam. Okay. Any other? What's Pawan's favorite food?
Dal and rice.
Dal and rice. Anything else? बोलिए, no negative marks here. No guesses?
Vada pav.
Vada pav.
That's the most Indian famous.
Food.
The Bible.
Usually when I ask this question, everybody tells their own favorites. उनको जो अच्छा लगता है. Yes, Pawan. Where do you live in Bombay?
I live in Ulhasnagar.
Ulhasnagar. Somebody guessed. And what do you do?
I work in a bank.
You work in a bank. So not an engineer, not. And what's your favorite? What's your mother tongue?
Sindhi.
Sindhi. Nobody guessed. What's your favorite food?
Actually, I'm very much foodie.
Foodie.
Yes. Sweet, spicy, or anything which
Anything?
is made with love.
Anything that's made with love. So thank you, Pawan. So we did this exercise just to show these 3 levels. Some of you, by seeing at him, maybe kind of guessed कहाँ रह सकता है और अनुमान किया होगा, एज के हिसाब से, others. But can you know everything about a person just by guessing? No. You have to ask him or ask someone whom he knows or whom he his family members. So that's called as descending. These two we are our own projections. Pratyaksha and Anuman is our own projections on who can be God or what can be God. Shabda is when we try to know from the higher authorities or from God Himself. And Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. God Himself spoke about Himself and about the world. And there are so many sciences also in the Gita. So, not everything in detail, but just the mention of these sciences means that all these sciences were very much available then. So it's a scientific manual, that Gita, and also it's an instruction manual. For all the material problems, it offers the spiritual solutions that we have. And as per the Gita and as per the Vedas, it is Krishna who is ascribed and nominated as that supreme source of all of us, from whom we all came, who is our supreme father. And it is not me because मैं गुजराती हूँ या मैं कृष्ण को चाहता हूँ, और I like blue and Krishna is blue god, or I like music and Krishna is a musician, or I like his lifestyle of flirting, so therefore I like Krishna. No, not that. It is all those who are the highest beings in this universe, and the Vedas, the Bhagavad and the Gita, that are telling, like the Brahma, who is considered as the first created being in this verse. He says in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Yes, there are many things that are controlling, many people who can control, but the supreme controller is Krishna. And Anadi. Many times it is asked, if God created everything, who created God? By definition, nobody created God. That's the axiom. Therefore, Anadi. He doesn't have a source. And Adi. He is the source of everything. Sarva Karana Karana. He is the cause of all causes. And in the Gita, whenever Krishna is addressed, said as Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan is a terminology used in the Vedas for referring to God. And this means someone who has 6 opulences in full. Wealth, beauty, fame, renunciation. We'll come to that. The 6 things God has in full. And by definition, God is the source of everything. He is controlling everything in the form of time. And not just us, but even the Devatas, when Krishna was about to be born, they all came and glorified, and we see this continuously. Whenever there is a trouble in the universe, all the Devatas line up and ask Krishna to come. And another interesting aspect is that not just Krishna is the avatar, he is the avatari. He is the source of even Vishnu. Krishna doesn't come from Vishnu. Vishnu comes from Krishna. And all the different avatars, it is said in the Bhagavad, Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So most of the times in Hinduism we don't know this. We only think from Vishnu Krishna comes. But even the Vishnu that is there is only the God who is managing this universe. But beyond this universe, in the spiritual planet, our home, Krishna is there, who comes, who expands as Vishnu. So even he is the source of all avatars. And he is the proprietor, enjoyer and controller of everything. He is Shaktiman. He is the source of all strength. He didn't need to go to any gym. Vrindavan Gymkhana. Not many people who lift a thing, they can't lift for long. They have to put down. But Krishna, he easily lifted for 7 days. Nor was his facial expression full of blood. He was happily smiling, and at a pinky he could lift. He is Lakshmipati. So, wealth is married to him. So if you want Lakshmi, then worship Narayan. Lakshmi is a chaste lady, she comes along. He is Yasha, or he is ever famous. Those who sing about his stealing pastimes, they also become rich. He is, Shri is always is the most beautiful. Sarva Akarshaniti Krishna. Not just to opposite gender. All species of life Krishna attracts. Everyone is stunned by Lord's beauty. He is supremely knowledgeable. He didn't have to prepare one night before speaking Gita, kal seminar dena hai Arjun ko. Just like that he spoke. And in spite of having all this, not at all attached, supremely renounced, not being possessed by his possessions, not being owned by what he owns, not being controlled by what he controls. So he is willing to be a servant of his devotees. And even the Gita, what God doing? God is serving his devotee. So a great message that God is not about being the boss of everyone, but if I am willing to assist to follow my children in the right way, and that's my way of showing love. So the lesson that we get from understanding that there is one God who is Krishna is that no one else except God is perfect. और किसी को भी भगवान मत समझिए, कोई भी हमको नहीं समझ सकता है. Don't expect perfectionism from people. Don't expect that my husband, my wife, my father, my boss, they will understand me. किसी को capacity नहीं है. Everybody is in their struggle of the battle of karma. Only God is perfect. Only God can understand us, facilitate us. Therefore, many times, because subconsciously we expect perfectionism, because we are looking for that fascination that we can get from God, from Allu Arjun, from from who is this? Ranveer Kapoor, and we worship them for their heroics, but it's all a myth. Look at 90 एक बार हमारे प्रेरणा प्रोग्राम में I had announced, Prerna is all boys, around 800 boys were there, and announced today we have a special guest who is a Miss India. सब बच्चे देखने लगे मिस इंडिया आई है किधर है. And I said, and she stood up, but nobody could notice because she was Miss India from 1970. So she was old. So then I had to point out, ये जो माताजी है, she was a Miss India. Now, if any of you know, in 1970s, before Aishwarya Rai, one of Indians had become Miss India. So she had come to our Prerna program. But where is that beauty? That beauty is in age. एक age में आता है, जाता है. अगर हमसे perfection expect करते हैं या दूसरों से, then we are expecting someone to act like God, and no one can play God. And if you try to play God, you'll ruin others or your relationship. So therefore, if one lesson that can we take is that no one else except God is perfect, and let's not throw that on others. And that one God, only the category of sharing love, He keeps it with Himself. Everything else, teaching them morality, He gives to the scriptures, to the sons, saints, prophets He sends. The physical needs of this world He gives to the devatas and the different rulers of this world, but let them manage. And the department of love, which is the main relationship, that Krishna, that cannot be delegated, that He Himself does. And therefore, only the sweet true relationships with Him, with each other based on that, can strengthen us. And what Gita is asking is to water the root of all our existence. That if we connect, if we develop our relationship with God, then everything else will flourish. Prabhupada gives an example. When a lady gets married to a boy, that one singular relationship gets her connected to so many individuals that are connected to them. Right? She doesn't need to, beyond that or neglecting that, cultivate relationship with each one. Yes, making that as a central relationship, she has in-laws, she has brothers, she has so many bigger family. But if that one relation is cut, the entire family is gone. Same way, each soul, once he connects to Krishna, he starts to see everyone as his family. Therefore, universal brotherhood comes from universal fatherhood. When we accept there is a universal father whom we come to connect, then everyone else, we don't envy anyone. अरे मेरा भाई है जिसको भगवान ने ज़्यादा blessings दिया है, can celebrate others' success rather than envy or become jealous. And we also get inspired to do more. And the next part, which we'll take after a short break, is the rescue mission. ठीक है, हम अभी कर्म के इस चक्कर में फंसे हैं. How do we get out? That's the third part. So which we'll take after this short break. And now the darshan is also open. If any of you, when you came 3:30, darshan was closed. So you can go up, take a quick darshan, and there are also some snacks. If you want to go to washroom, there is back. And we'll meet at 6 back here for our final concluding session on the 5 topics of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita essentials. And I am here anyway, if you want to have any questions, but please do take darshan. Please do have some snacks. If you want to freshen up, you can go to the back of the temple.
Did you know that owl sleeps at, owl
Day.
wakes up at night? Yeah.
Why is only Krishna called as the supreme personality of all gods when there are other gods?
So, there are other devatas who are different, they're all jivas, they're all like we are all souls, they're also different souls because of their karmic capacity. They are gone to that, just like Modi. Modi is a human being, but because of his character and his capability, he is elevated to being a prime minister.
Okay.
And it's a post. Just like all these devatas that are there, except Shiva, they are all different jivas, different living entities. Because of their karma, their punya, they are elevated in these different places. Only Shiva is an expansion of Krishna for a particular reason.
Okay.
And but as God, he has different personalities in which he deals. Just like we ourselves, we have different personalities. In office, we are a different personality. At work, we are a different personality. So Krishna is the supreme of all personalities of God. The supreme personality, the one who is the most sweetest or the original, is Krishna. And he, based on time, place, and the person, he manifests different personalities. So that's why it's the supreme personality of God.
One more question. Would the war be prevented? Would it not be better if the war was prevented by a peaceful settlement to avoid the destruction on both
Correct.
ends?
He did try. There was a lot of trial. Krishna himself went to appease the Kauravas, and so many attempts were made. पहला तो पार्टीशन किया कि आप अलग रहो, ये अलग रहे. उसमें भी कौरवास वर जेलस. अरे उनको तो क्या दिया था? दे वर गिवन बैरन लैंड, खांडव प्रस्थ, जहाँ पे कुछ नहीं उगता था, जहाँ पे विच वॉज इन्फेस्टेड बाय गोस, ऐसा जगह दे दिया था. Pandavas, by their hard work, by their blessings, they made that it as good as heavens. And the Kauravas partition करके दोनों शांति से जी रहे थे, और वो भी ऐसा जगह दिया जहाँ पे उनको कुछ इनकम नहीं था, कुछ नहीं था. But once they grew, they were so jealous, they wanted to occupy. So that's why they played that whole game. Even after that, when the Pandavas lost everything, they didn't want the entire thing. They said, हमको 5 गांव दे दो.
Yes.
Because we have to live. We just give us 5 villages, we'll be happy. Even that they didn't want to give. And even in the Gita, Arjuna said, वो भी छोड़ देते. But Krishna said, you cannot undermine your self-dignity for the sake of somebody else's vanity. किसी और के vanity के लिए खुद का dignity को down नहीं करने का. इतना भी कि people can use you as a rubber mat. So therefore Gita is a book to stand for yourself when it goes beyond a limit. So Krishna himself tried, but when it didn't happen, then he said, अभी इनको सिखाना पड़ेगा. नहीं सिखाएंगे तो फिर अधर्म ही बढ़ेगा. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
That is the whole Mahabharata, no?
Yes,
So
yes.
Gita is a part of it. I'm so sorry for his disturbance because I cannot leave him home. There's nobody at home.
I understand.
So that's why I just thought that it's
But
better.
it's
you-
better. But it's better. He's
No, but if you
once I
instruct
to-
him,
yeah.
he'll follow.
So once I told him, he's not.
No, he's not.
So that's good.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Rohit, I wanted to check, does the temple have, like, see, earlier now I used to attend every Sunday Bhagavad Gita class by Narsimha Prabhuji, but COVID happened and then the class stopped. Is there a class that,
We're going to
verse
start.
wise?
We're going to start now.
Yeah,
Very
because of course we
What time you used to attend? What time do
We
you
used to
prefer?
attend on a Sunday 4 to 6:37. So I used to attend with Nasmatit Prabhuji used to give us, and we were some few 5-6 of us who used to attend the class. So he, but of course COVID is shut. So in fact 1 to 8 every verse of Bhagavad Gita he used to explain. So
So we'll take that. We'll also planning